I don't choose these stories. They find me. Listen carefully. Some messages arrive written, spoken, or whispered. Others arrive in a way that suggests the speaker was never the author. And every so often, a voice you hear isn't meant to be theirs at all. I was in central Mexico, in one of those towns where life spills into the plaza at night. Music rising from every corner, fireworks cracking like impatient thoughts, and food stalls filling the air with the smell of corn and smoke. People danced. Strangers blended. The world felt warm, familiar, almost loud enough to drown out anything unusual. That's when I noticed her, a woman in her mid-40s, standing apart from the noise. She wasn't afraid, but she wasn't celebrating either. She watched me with a kind of reserved recognition, as if she'd seen my face before in a dream she didn't trust. Eventually, she approached with cautious steps and asked, low enough that no one else would hear, "Are you the one who investigates strange things?" Her voice held the tremor of someone afraid, not of the supernatural, but of being dismissed. I told her she could speak freely. I've heard too many oddities to judge any of them harshly. It took her a moment to begin. Some people need permission to tell their truth. Years ago, during the worst period of her life, she began receiving messages from complete strangers. Not texts, not emails, not phone calls. People. They approached her in supermarkets, on buses, inside church courtyards, beside gas pumps, places where conversations are usually borrowed from silence, not destiny. Their tone always matched one thing: urgency without aggression. They would say lines like, "Excuse me, I think I'm supposed to give you this message," or "I don't know why, but I need to tell you something." And always, "Please don't be scared." Then they delivered words tied precisely to her private suffering, details about her finances, her family's medical condition, even specific phrases her father used to say before he died. One stranger warned her not to ignore a phone call coming the next day. She didn't, and that call saved her from losing the little she still had. Another told her to rest, specifying the exact pain in her ribs she'd been hiding from everyone. A third approached her at a bus station at dawn, handed her a sentence that made no sense until the event it described happened 3 days later. This continued for months. Different strangers, different voices, the same uncanny accuracy. Then one day, just as her life steadied, the messages stopped, not gradually, completely. Her eyes tightened when she asked me the question she'd carried for years. Was something trying to help me? Or were trying to push me somewhere I didn't choose? She wasn't afraid of ghosts or curses. She was afraid of intention. She wanted to know if her suffering had attracted something, or if something had taken advantage of it. I told her there were several possibilities, none of them comfortable. I spoke first of human psychology, how distress amplifies meaning, how micro-expressions broadcast desperation the way steam escapes a cracked pipe. People can sense it without understanding why. Some act on impulses they mistake for intuition. That explanation unsettled her. Human instincts are often more frightening than spirits. Then I told her about cultural currents, the belief that in moments of emotional collapse, the mind opens and messages pass through ordinary people like electrical discharge. Curanderos call it la corriente, the current, a spiritual field where intention, whoever's intention, needs a human voice. She didn't like that either. Next, I described ancestral traditions. Mexican folk belief holds that the dead rarely speak directly. Instead, they borrow the voices of the living. Los muertos osan viva voz. The dead use a living voice. The woman's shoulders tightened at that phrase. She'd heard it before from her grandmother. Then I told her something I don't usually share, something pulled from my own fieldwork. In several countries, I've documented what I call the echo pattern. Cases where people in crisis experience guidance delivered through random individuals. Not prophets, not mystics, just ordinary humans who momentarily become channels for information they shouldn't know. The pattern is always the same. Crisis intensity predicts frequency. Messengers are never the same person twice. Information is impossibly accurate. Messages stop the moment stability returns. Recipients feel watched, but not harmed. Messengers forget or claim they just felt compelled. Her breathing slowed. She whispered that one stranger told her exactly that. I don't know why I'm saying this. I just feel like I have to. Some truths sink in slowly. Others arrive like the pressure in a sealed container right before it bursts. There was one final possibility, the one I rarely mention. I told her gently that if non-human intelligences exist, whatever form they take, they might not be able to speak to us directly, not through dreams or apparitions, but they might be able to influence, impulse, timing, phrasing, attention, just enough to nudge a thought into the nearest open human mind. Not possession, not control, just a whisper carried by a borrowed voice. Her face went pale because one of her messengers had said, "It doesn't feel like this message is for me." I didn't push her further. Interpretation is personal. Belief is a burden no one can hold for someone else. I told her only this: whether those messages came from grief, strangers, ancestors, or something older, someone or something wanted you to hear them. The world speaks in many voices, and we rarely know who's doing the talking. She nodded slowly, then disappeared into the moving crowd. One more face in the fiesta, carrying a secret that had finally found a place to rest. The case ends here. For now, reality bends more easily than people can imagine.